This one has a lot of hair. This one has a normal amount of hair. It's Pat and Alex. This one was born in Raytown. This one lives in Raytown. They opened a store in the pandemic, and this is a show about it. Hustle and bustle, hustle and bustle, hustle and bustle. Here is the show.
Hello and welcome back to Hustle and Bustle. I'm Pat Clifton.
I'm Alex Quinn.
Look, we used last names last time. I just used mine and you followed suit. Do you think that, if we did that 10 times, do you think that happened 10 times?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. I just did it.
Did you notice that it happened?
I don't know if I even noticed I said
I'm
my
going to
last
just start
name.
saying, adding other details about myself in the intro and see if you follow
I'm just going to be Anchorman. And as always, Kansas City, go yourself.
It is already October.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that feel fast?
Yeah, it's well, it doesn't feel like October, that's for sure. I'm sweating my off. It seems like the last 10 days.
It's supposed to be we're supposed to hit the high of the high Saturday's 62 or something.
Yeah, 62? I can get highs of 60s.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, I'm way down for weather change. The light change is something I'm not super jazzed for. It's already starting to get a little dark.
Yep. Oh, I think in July that started to depress me.
We were losing.
Yeah.
You could tell when we were losing a minute
When
a
it
day.
started to get dark at 9 o'clock, I was like, this is the end.
Yeah, this is it. Announcements. We have Gnarly Halloween coming up, October 21st. That is a 9-band punk show here in our parking lot. It's going to be awesome. We've got Vibetown Burgers. They're pretty cool. There's a sticker here. That's Vibetown Burgers.
They're delicious.
Holy fuck, are they delicious. I basically, since I ate their last burger, have been looking forward to Gnarly Halloween so I can have it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I can have the joy of I recently did it with a stand-up comedian that I saw for the first time. I shared it with my father-in-law and said, here, enjoy this. That's a joy, a human joy.
Sharing nice experiences.
Look, I found this delicious burger. You put it in your mouth and tell me how grateful you are for me telling you about it.
I think that's evolution. Do you think the monkeys who found the new food were just
Yeah, you had to incentivize them to share it somehow.
Explorers used to be a real job.
Exploring.
Yeah. There used to be someone whose LinkedIn was Explorer.
Yeah.
But there's a few new things you can show people now.
I don't know. Do you think Columbus had a LinkedIn?
I mean, I would imagine he had to have had one.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. All right. And then we have Midnight Madness coming up as well.
Fuck yeah.
February 3rd. So Gnarly Halloween, 9 bands, October 21st. It is $8 now. You can buy it at our register. You can buy tickets online at hustlegnarly.com, or it's $10 at the door. So you're going to want to do that. It's going to be so dope. And you can get a tasty burger while you're at it. Or you could come to Midnight Madness February 3rd at the KC Soccer Dome. $5 at the door. A bazillion awesome rugby teams to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Save the date. It's the weekend before the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl of indoor rugby before the football Super Bowl.
Hell yeah.
Let's just get a Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce update. Are you annoyed?
I mean,
Are you less annoyed, more annoyed than you were? Is your meter changing?
I think it's now more accepted to be annoyed of it. I think the rest of the world, especially if you're not a Chiefs fan, you've got to be sick of it. I'm still, I think, in the same position. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the Chiefs being in those type of cultural headlines. That's pretty neat. But there was, I don't remember what play it was, but they scored, and then instead of seeing his touchdown dance, they shot to fucking Swifties and
you
Travis.
sad you missed his touchdown dance.
Kind of. I mean, I'll enjoy watching Taylor, but I don't know. I guess maybe I am annoyed of it. Maybe I'm doubting myself. I'm not.
You're annoyed.
I'm annoyed.
It's fine. I'm loving it. And it's obviously a good business decision from the NFL's perspective. Did you see the numbers?
Yeah, some people think it's not real because of that.
They think they're fake numbers?
Mm-hmm. No, the numbers are real, but the relationship is fake for the numbers.
Oh, for the clout.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people are going to cast all sorts of aspersions. People are already rooting for the breakup song. That's fine. But look, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are watching the Chiefs. Hugh Jackman's watching the Chiefs. The chick who was married to a Jonas brother that was on Game of Thrones is watching the Chiefs. I don't give a fuck. I could see why it would make other people hate the Chiefs because there's already we're already turning into the Patriots. This is just another reason. And Taylor does incels don't like Taylor. Incels love football. So there's a Venn diagram of hate that has to play out.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, this is great for the Chiefs. This is great for Taylor Swift. This is great for Travis Kelce. I hope it's a long-lasting relationship. How else could Travis and Taylor date?
Well,
could they date in a different way? If they were dating differently, could they be doing it for love and not for...
I don't think there's anything wrong with what they're doing. I'm just a little obnoxious of the abundance of coverage that it's getting. But I don't know anything about Taylor Swift or her lore. But I mean, she's famous for being in a lot of relationships and then them breaking up tragically, and she makes a song about it. That's kind of...
It's more that she writes songs about it.
Okay.
Is what it's about.
How long...
There's this whole thing about the Swifties because they're a cult, right? But
yeah.
The thing about them is it's like QAnon because it's shit she does are Q drops. And they think that she's foreshadowing to things. And now, is she foreshadowing to things? Is she sending messages to her fans? Is she not?
On average, how long do these relationships last? Will this affect our play?
It won't affect our play. First off, there's no she doesn't do this for the songs. That's ridiculous. But what happens is she writes a song and then people try to figure out who it's about and then what happened and then right. But also did you see the popcorn Tim thing?
Yeah,
the video.
Is that real? Was she really in there?
Yeah, but that lady was clearly this is just the other occasion where she was being snuck out in some other thing. Remember that? These people, it's a weird game that they play. It's an odd cult activity. It's got to catch them all, but it's instead of Pokemon, it's everything that Taylor ever does.
That's a good metaphor.
And it's fun for them, and I don't understand it, but that's what leads to...
As long as it doesn't negative...
There is no conspiracy. It's not real. She's not, I think she's dating Travis Kelce because he's very good looking.
Yeah.
Very charismatic.
Pretty successful.
She has a history of dating famous guys. Maybe she's into famous guys. Maybe she's not. Probably hard to not date a famous guy.
Yeah.
If you're Taylor Swift. And how else are you going to date famous people?
That's true. As long as, if it ever eventually ends, it doesn't affect the Chiefs in a negative way.
Sure it will. It's humans.
Ugh.
Travis Kelce's not allowed to have romances.
Not in season.
Nobody was worried about his last girlfriend.
Protect the shield. It's all about the shield.
Okay, Herm Edwards.
I went down that route.
Around the cooler. Speaking of things else going on in Kansas City, Made in KC's got a couple places that are closing. So I just saw this on Reddit, but they have apparently they had places at Lightwell, which I guess is I think maybe an office building, and then on Baltimore, and they're right across the street from each other, but those locations are both closing, and I guess they closed the Trolley in the River Market, and they closed their Midtown location in the
I knew
Pass as well.
I knew about the Trolley. I can't remember who took it over. I think Betty Ray's might have
taken over the Trolley.
Yeah, that might be completely wrong, but there are too many of them.
That's just the old...
I think there's 20 plus locations. That's a lot of overhead for...
Especially if they're right across the street.
Yeah.
What do you think you are, coming?
You're not McDonald's.
Yeah.
They could do that. I don't know. That's interesting. I hope it's just a business move. Let's open 20 locations and then the 10 that run the most efficiently we keep open or something. I don't know.
I also think that there's some people are saying there's just too many. Maybe they just hit their capacity.
Yeah.
Some people are also just saying maybe the Kansas City Pride thing has hit its peak and we're on the nadir of it. We're on the back side of it. So a store solely devoted to how awesome Kansas City is. Maybe we just don't. Not that we reached our carrying capacity of them, but the market for them in general is going down.
I'm sure those both are probably a little bit true.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would imagine everybody has a peak. No one peaks are real. No one plateaus at their peak, then it wouldn't be your peak. But I would imagine Made in KC might have hit their all-time popularity.
Yeah, they may have already
unless they pivot into something new. They're dominant. There isn't a business in the Kansas City metro that's anything like them or does anything what they do at the scale and effectiveness that they do.
Yeah.
But
I don't know that they're that different than Rally House. I mean, if Rally House had alcohol, I would say they're pretty similar.
Yeah, but there's not. Maybe there are. How many Rally Houses are there?
a bunch. And they started as Kansas Sampler. Originally, it was a place called Kansas Sampler that is very much like Made in KC. They just skewed more, went like hard, like took a hard right turn towards sports.
Yeah.
But they used to be much more like
pop culture, Kansas City.
Gift shoppy. Like consignment gift shoppy, kind of like Made in KC feels like. Anyways, I just thought that was interesting because that's a huge brand. Obviously, you know, we want to sell alcohol, and when we tell people we want to sell alcohol and they look at us like we're idiots, we say Made in KC. They're like, oh, I guess there is a store that does that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I hope that. I don't think that the Kansas City Pride thing's dying.
I don't think so either.
It may be waning a little bit, but I don't think that.
Correcting, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe just a self-correction.
A sustainable.
Let's look at it as that.
Yeah.
Ferris wheel. Have you seen the Ferris wheel?
I've seen it. It's spinning. It's cool.
I haven't seen. I'd go on it. This is the only kind of Ferris wheel I'd go on where you can like it's enclosed and you can't fall out.
How are you not a big Ferris wheel guy?
Terrifying.
They are. I don't know. I don't think that's the mildest like carnival ride you can get on.
So you're swinging, and then once you reveal that you're terrified, and the person next to you thinks it's hilarious, they try to intentionally swing you, and it's awful. So
that's fair. So are they AC'd? Is there air conditioning?
I imagine they look bubbled. So yeah, they look dope. I think it's cool. People are making fun of it though. People are saying that like it's not high enough, or that like you're not going to be able to see anything cool. So it's mostly getting roasted, I would say, online right now.
Yeah, that'll pass. I think it's dope.
I think it's dope. I need to go around it and see. If all I can see is I-35, I guess then maybe it's not fun.
It might be a little bit of a bet on that area. Like that's the first. There's all sorts of development,
entertainment.
Yeah, and this happened to have gone up first.
Restaurants, bars, all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
New YouTube tools for creators.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, YouTube unleashed several new. Just AI tools for creators. A lot of beta testers. I don't think we're able to get access to any of it. But like a lot of language models, so auto captioning, auto dubbing. So
we don't have to. It'll like just.
We don't have to hire somebody to translate our podcast into German anymore.
Oh,
YouTube could just do it.
That was costing us a fortune.
We went. Humor doesn't translate across barriers. No, but so that's pretty cool. But so one thing that they're terrified of is full automation. So like it's been increasing. There's an increasing amount of like enter long form video, and it will spit out short form clips of that video. There's been full YouTubers now who are just like they do gameplay, live streaming. Or like live reviews, and they've transitioned into a cartoon character, and they did this like a few years ago. So it's a faceless YouTube channel, but now, and it was just traditional animation. Feed it, just like write a script, feed it a script, animate it, and then voice act it. But now, since there's just hours of video and footage of these people, I can't remember the name of the YouTuber, but he's now full AI. Where the cartoon character you're seeing is no longer him. It's edited by humans, but the text, the language, and like the pace of it all is all generated by AI and then produced by humans. So like YouTube is both battling this, wanting creators to get more tools to make cool stuff on their platform, but like they're gonna have to fight just full automation accounts. I don't know. It's interesting. It's just another company like fully adopting AI into like the full suite of their.
I still think that a fully automation account will have trouble penetrating. And not that they'll exist. I just don't think that they'll penetrate. They'll captivate our
viewership and subscriber for this like account I'm describing. I think went down 30%. And
as up.
And he was like, that was expected. So like their look at it is, we believe over the next 3 years it might advance to a point where it can replace me, and if you're a new consumer where you didn't know that like I was doing it as a human beforehand, you may not care, or a lot of people just won't care. And I'll find myself like I'll be scrolling and something's interesting enough.
I just think that they'll be able to tell. That's the difference. I think that
yeah, but it's if that matters or not.
We will be able to create a sex robot that confuses humans. Oh, was that a human or a robot that I had sex with?
Yeah, but
before we'll be able to do this.
if you can tell,
there's more incentivization to do that.
it may not matter.
And do you know what sex robots
Like
look
you,
like now?
you watch movies and you know every single movie you watch isn't real. Do you still fully enjoy them? Do you still pay people to go watch them?
Yes, but there's a level at which that the CGI has to be or the special effects has to be in order for you to consume it.
People love Terminator 2, Star Wars they loved. If you were to watch that today, it'd be bullshit. The effects would flop in the blockbuster.
Sure.
Or no, I take that back. It wouldn't. Like, people still enjoy Star Wars, and you can clearly tell everything is a model. Nothing
I
looks
disagree.
real.
I think if you re-released the original Star Wars now, the same CGI, the same everything, it would flop.
Okay, it would flop, but I still enjoy it now. I know it's not real.
It's not the
So, like,
realness.
I'm just saying that the difference of you being able to tell may not matter as much as we think.
I think
incoming generations will be like, this was AI generated. They'll be like, okay.
I agree.
And everyone will be able to tell that it's different, but it won't matter.
Those are two different things. There's do I care if it's made by a robot or a human for some moral or ethical reason?
Yeah.
Or do I just want it to be good? I agree with you that people may not care. Fine. I disagree with you that they will ever make anything as good as humans that will truly influence us and confuse us. That's where I'm at. If literally human beings have been trying to replicate how to have sex with a willing, consensual adult woman for thousands of years, and the best they could come up with is what I see on TV and the internet now.
Well, I think that's more of a matter of, like, that's the referee conundrums. The only people who are referees are people who weren't good at the sport, and the only people making these dolls may not have a whole lot of real life experience to carry over.
Yeah, well, that may be fair. It doesn't. I don't know. I understand. I think flying cars make sense.
That's insane.
I think that solar powered everything makes sense. I think free college makes sense, and it'll never happen in our lifetimes. I think a lot of things make sense. It's concept.
Yeah.
But
anyway, it's just another adoption of AI into our real life.
I think it's great, though. I mean, the question for us, at least in my opinion, is. Well, the question that bubbles in my mind, I should say, is like, what does this mean for creators, right? Like, so like, okay, great. We're thirsty and hungry because we get all these tools, but now everyone has these tools. Mm-hmm. So like, there's this timeline. Like right now, we can produce edit better than I don't know what percentage of companies. You'd put us in the top quartile, the top 10%, top 5%, top 50%. I don't know. But let's say companies that had to create content, where would you put us? I would imagine we only stand to get worse, right? Like, when there were only 1,000 podcasts, Mark Maron's podcasts was great.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck about Mark Maron 10 years on.
Mark Maron is.
WTF, one of the first viral podcasts on the planet. Like one of the first viral celebrities on podcasting. Now, Joe Rogan managed to keep going, but literally no one cares about him. I mean, I'm sure he has a show and still makes money podcasting, right? But like, once Dax Shepard figured out how to be good at podcasting, he surpassed Mark Maron pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because he surpassed him as a comedian and actor for the same reason, talent.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I wonder just, not that I'm driving to a conclusion, but it's like, it feels like we're at a race to get really good at all these tools. Like Canva and CapCut are things that we were getting good at.
Yes. And like,
it's like a race to get good at like a commodity that everyone's about to be able to get good at. But like, that seems like the only way to go.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be a trend. I mean, like, some things are hyper niche and like only. Yeah. This does seem like the first tool that everyone can get access to pretty quickly, cheaply, and frequently. And like, you don't have to be a VIP or special access. Like, anybody can use AI tools today.
Right.
Yeah, but like there will be a window of skill to use the tool before the tool becomes so easy everybody can use it effectively. Everyone can use AI right now, just like everyone can go and pick up a phone and record something, but can you do it like effectively is a skill.
Yeah.
So that'll be, I don't know how long that window is. Like, is it my lifetime before AI becomes powerful enough and easy enough to where like grandma can just talk to a fridge and make a movie? That's not like cinema, but like good enough to post on social media? Or is it sooner than that? And like, it's not even worth learning all of these nitty gritty skills because soon it'll be so easy to.
Well, that's right. The second that your grandma could make a cinematic movie worth watching that you could talk to on your fridge, it won't be worth watching because like movies are worth watching. Like movies that are in a lot of ways isn't the reason you go to a movie because like millions of dollars have been poured into making this like 16:9 picture for 2.5 hours look so much better than any other imagery you can ever get anywhere else in the world.
But I don't know if that's true anymore. People have like $10,000 TVs, or even like the screens on these things.
Well, that's why people don't go to movies anymore. That's my point.
Yeah.
But that was when movies were the thing. That was the only place you could go. You literally couldn't go watch moving, talking pictures anywhere in the world but a fucking movie theater. And that's how they created a business.
Yeah.
And then it moved into televisions and it went home.
Well,
Then once they got the talking picture in the house, didn't like you all going to a movie was about surround sound, and then it was about like how big the screen was, IMAX, and it was about like you have to just make it literally the best possible quality on the planet. But as soon as that quality is caught up to by everything else, it's commodified, and now the movie business is dead. Doesn't that also happen to this? We get really good at making social media reels, and then because everyone's is really good at social media reels, our reels don't capture anyone's attention because it is harder to, because everyone's as good at capturing attention.
Yeah. I don't know. We're going to hit a critical point of content production. Of like, there's so much out in the world.
Yeah.
That, I don't know. Yeah.
It's already weird. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just.
But dude, it's also hard to describe. Like, there's footage, there's videos, there's long form videos, there's 5-minute videos, there's TikToks that have millions of views that on every objective scale are garbage and stupid.
Yeah.
So it's also like, what even is...
Well, what did you think about the NFL animation, right? Because to me, this is exact. Okay. This is...
I actually like this.
This is the phenomenon of like, which has happened in the last 5 to 10 years, of children, instead of playing with Barbie, watching other people play with Barbie on YouTube.
Yeah.
To me, this was the NFL saying, okay, you don't want to watch football, but what if we made the toy version of football? And like, this is as close to you can get in real time of watching
someone play a video game.
Right, exactly. But it still be the NFL's product. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's such a fucking genius idea.
Did you watch any of it?
So I tuned in.
I only saw it on a phone.
Yeah, I didn't like watch it intently or like with a good connection to like see how good like the quality was. But it looked like a video game.
Right, it looked like a low-level video game.
There weren't like too many like crazy glitches or player breakups or like I think I would have been able to watch it and not been distracted by the fact that it's.
I'm still blown away
by how they did it.
Because like I still don't believe it. I still feel like I need to watch it screen to screen, watch the quarterback roll to the right, and then see if the cartoon version goes. I still don't believe. I don't automatically believe that that's what happened.
A year ago, like we still, even modern day, like don't think like that's possible. But someone was able to. I don't know actually what the delay was, so I really have no idea what the technicalities of it were. But I mean, like that's technology. Yeah, like that's wild. That's a weird evolution of live human performances.
Yeah. I think it was crazy and weird. And also, while we're talking about things, the Sphere in Vegas. Did you see it?
Dude, fuck yeah, I saw it. That is on my bucket list. Yeah. Holy shit.
Inside, outside. First off, here's the problem. They are going to create a huge problem. Everyone's going to go to Vegas to take psychedelics and just stand and stare at that fucking thing. So there's going to be a horde of zombie psychedelic people, like just on shrooms and acid, just outside of that thing losing their minds.
Bro, it is you don't need drugs to fucking lose your mind in that thing. Just from watching some of the clips and the concert. Like, it's a technical feat. Whoever's idea it was, and then whoever had the money to okay it.
I can't imagine what it costs. Well, I'm sure that it's out there.
Yeah, their electric bill's got to be fucking astronomical.
They're probably not getting on Evergy's new plane.
Yeah, they're not saving any pandas or polar bears, that's for sure.
Yeah. Aldi?
All right, yep. I got to gas Aldi up a little bit.
Okay.
The last 3 weeks, for some reason, I've just been, it feels like, to every department store in Kansas City. Hardware, technology, clothing, food. I've been through them all. and have had like a pleasant experience almost none of the times. There's either products not on the shelf that it says they're online, checkouts are too long, customer service isn't very helpful. They don't even know where the fuck the product is I'm looking for either. It's like, what helpful are you? Micro Center is the only exception I'll make from this. It's a computer store in Olathe. If you need computer things, go there. They're amazing. But Aldi, so they close at 8. I get there about 7:30 whenever I close down the store pretty frequently. And I've never gone there and something not be stocked on the shelf. An employee ask me how I'm doing, even though I'm shopping as they're closing, which as a fellow grocery store worker, like, it's annoying. Or anyone working a restaurant, like, we close in 10 minutes and someone's walking in, fuck you. I'll never get that type of, like, cold shoulder. The people at the register kind of know me by name now, so, like, we have a repertoire. I don't know. I thoroughly enjoy the Aldi business.
Aldi does a great job. I have a complaint to file. Look,
Okay.
They do a phenomenal job. Everyone loves Aldi. You can even buy Aldi merch now. Like, they sell slides and sweatpants and stuff. And it blows my mind, but I get it because it's like a cult following because everyone shops
I
there.
might buy something like that.
If you value your time and your money, you shop at Aldi.
Yeah.
Period.
The two, yes. You start to value other things.
Everything's
maybe it goes
generally
down.
in the same place at every fucking Aldi. You can find everything. It's great. They're now instituting more and more self-checkouts. Okay?
So we've
Fine.
yet to be hit by that.
And they have one that they just keep open. But now the person that's supposed to man the one that they keep open tends to hide. They don't want to be used. They want you to use the checkouts. So immediately, already, this is the first time at Aldi where I have that employee who doesn't want to talk to me. Because she wants you to use the self-checkout.
Yeah.
So she's pretending she's too busy to check you out. That has become a new phenomenon.
Is this yeah, I hope I hope we stay poor enough to not get that self-checkout here in Raytown.
It's coming. Especially in Raytown is where it's coming.
Yeah,
because
fuck.
it's hazard pay to work here. So, concert films.
Okay, so Taylor Swift, when she concluded her concert, she announced this like in theater. I don't really know what it is, but like concert, not documentary,
people, probably.
performance, yeah, but in movie theater. And I got all this backlash, especially from people who like work in movie theaters or go to them for movies, which I guess, as we discussed, is few and far between. But imagine like a concert being in the theater next to you. It might like ruin your movie. Now, I guess like they're pretty soundproof already. Like there's
those
huge,
things are fucking.
but there's a huge, like, you can hear people cheer outside a theater, like when they clap or when the movie's ended. Imagine that going on for like an hour and a half, and not just regular movie goers, but cult members.
Well, first off, I don't think that that's what's going to happen. Do you think that's what's going to happen?
I 100% think. I think it's going to be like the concert. I think people are going to dress up like they did when they went to the concert. Why else would you go to sit down and like watch? I don't know.
I'm not
it's
so
weird.
sure they're going to do it, but I guess have they sold one of these things yet?
Oh, it's already, tickets are probably already sold out. But anyway, I mentioned it because Beyonce announced her tour film thing yesterday at the conclusion of her concert in Kansas City. And so I just never heard of this before, but now there's 2 post-tour like shows that are being in theaters.
Hey man, spread that content as thin as you can.
Yeah,
Get in.
which is an amazing business decision on both parties. Like movie theaters, now you get a movie that you're going to sell out.
Oh, if they
across
get,
the
movie
country.
theaters, apparently we've talked about this, but they're going big time to churches. They're going big time to
Yep.
apparently this right wing propagandist like independent film thing, and concerts. That makes sense.
So
You have
it's just,
giant rooms rigged for audio and video. How can we make money out of them?
Yeah.
Nobody's paying for popcorn anymore.
but also like you got to feel duped if you buy and go there. And it just seems weird phenomenon.
Yeah, for sure. What else do we have? How's it going? How's it going around here? So I would say hard is all I can think about lately. I don't know that we've really talked about it like in terms of this, but it smacked me in the face watching the Office episode. And then literally it's where Michael Scott tries to start Michael Scott Paper Company. Mm-hmm. And I may have talked about it. I can't. I brought it up to you. Like, I'll just say it.
Yeah.
And Oscar says, "Oh, well, you're gonna not make any money for 5 years. You're not gonna have a paycheck for 5 years. You're not gonna be profitable for 3 years." It's like, oh fuck. So it's this is a known thing that this is what this is what this life is like. And I'll just like, it feels still like a secret, like that I don't know that people know that.
It's because no one talks about it on social media.
Like, so I don't know that anyone knows that you and I don't take money from this place. I don't know that anyone knows that like we have other jobs that pay all of our bills.
Yeah.
And so like, it seems obvious. Oscar knew it, and it was enough of a joke in pop culture to put into the office.
Yeah.
But like, the hardest part about all of this is that like we work. This is the job we want to pour all of ourselves into, but we get nothing. Like, we can't feed ourselves off of it or house ourselves. So we have to do this other shit that does it. And then once you do that, you take away all the time to house yourself and feed yourself and pour all of yourself into this other thing. What's left of you at the end of the day? That's not a lot of you. And to do that for a long time is hard.
Yeah.
And this is a hard season of it, I think. And it feels like, we've gotten into a rhythm of pattern recognition. Winters are hard around here in terms of they're generally slower. There's less sales. There's not a light at the end tunnel like, oh, next month it's going to be much bigger, because like the river market power's down for us. So it's just like, all right, we're going into another winter without the bar open. We're going into another winter,
Yeah. It's still as hard as it was last year, but there's like, there's just like, there's no on paper return at all right now.
Yeah.
Which is like hard to work around, like mentally. Like when you on paper are losing, it's hard to be like, I'm winning.
And take the step back, because we've talked about this analogy. Sales are up. This is the second biggest month in history, followed by the greatest sales month in history. So like all the metrics are all still going in the right direction. They're all pointing in the right direction. This will be our first profitable year.
Yeah.
So year 3 on track, profitable year. All things are going fucking great.
Thanks, Oscar.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But it's still fucking hard. So like, and I think it's honestly, I think it's amplified and made harder by like, it's been hard for a long time now. And this just in, like, being married makes it a lot harder than it was before I wasn't married. And, that engagement period was really fucking hard. But once, like, the specter of I'm, going to be married to a business and to a human came into play, that changed the whole dynamic. And, like, I feel like it's hard and there's no payoff. I feel like I want to make it easier and you want to make it pay off. And those two things don't necessarily always align. And that friction makes it even harder.
Yeah. I think we would do ourselves a lot of good if we like fell back on some of our whys. Because like not necessarily every why is like a financial return.
Right.
Now that's the one that's been mattering more and more. But we could maybe stand to kind of revisit some of the reasons why we fucking picked up such a hard task. And I don't know, just like remind ourselves.
I'll say, like, look, core values and cultures, I'm not going to pretend to know, like, be an expert on it. But I will say that I've practiced it and I've fucking, like, burnt my hand and, like, figured out some shit that's hot and figured out some shit that's cool and figured out some shit that works and doesn't in terms of that space. In the rugby space, mostly, coaching. And, like, I'll say that, like, coaching KCR Rugby Football Club and, like, looking back at, that's been, like, a 6-year journey now since I came back from Belleville. It's been hard. There were a lot of hard times, not great times. But, like, and there were times where I didn't go by the core values, like, a lot of them. Probably the lowest coaching moment ever when we first came back that summer before I broke my leg. We went to Denver on that trip. Like, I was coaching 100% through my ego, doing that all 100% through and for my ego, which was the wrong place to be. And that was a horrible experience for everyone. And, like, I'm embarrassed by it. And so, like, long and short of it is, like, core values. I decided a while back, like, uncommon commitment, constant improvement, better people, and fun were the core values by which I was going to operate. I put those into place at Belleville. They started to work. I brought them to Kansas City. I think I really started to live through them a little bit more here after I had some trauma in my life and some shit happened that like made me look at my ego and like reevaluate some stuff and why I was doing things again. And like since then, I've generally actually used those as a filter the way that you're supposed to. Meaning, all right, here's a hard decision. What am I supposed to do? Okay, well, what are the things that we value? We value constant improvement, uncommon commitment, better people, and fun. Does decision A filter through that cleanly? Yes. Does decision B? No. Well, then maybe decision B is a poor decision. I don't know that we do that around here.
Yeah.
We certainly don't around fun, you know? Like, at least not with the group that we started with, right? So, like, I would say that we probably have suffered a little bit from like reminding ourselves. And I don't know that we've even made the verbal contract that we are going to apply those core values to this place.
Yeah.
Or even like drilled down and said, does Gnarly Hustle need another different set of core values?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like that type of work, maybe the work that is exactly what I think what you were saying too.
Yeah. It's been a while since like there were lots of reasons why we wanted to embark on this endeavor, and like the core values we haven't like revisited in probably ever.
Yeah. And not like, look, not to make it like sit here and seem like we're breaking up on the air, because I feel like if you're watching, you could make it like seem like what's going on. But these are just, we're having an honest conversation, and I think that like.
It's just really fucking hard. Okay, so our good friend Matt Potch, he came in. If you've seen the vending machines in the store, then you've seen the work of Potch, and he is like such a great dude, an incredibly independent thinker, and incredibly ambitious. And I think maybe sometimes a little too vocal with his opinions regarding both. Like I can see him want to be an entrepreneur. Like he's got like the weird drive of like, I have this thing I want to do and I think I could do it. But like just the point in his life as far as like having a family, and I don't know, I think it's way more difficult for him to do that than me. I could fucking start a company and my girlfriend would get mad maybe. But yeah, we were just sitting and discussing the vast difference, like this huge gap in between a side hustle, something that makes you $100 to $1,000 a month, and that you can fit into your spare time before or after work or at night or whatever, and it not like overwhelm you and encompass your life, and then taking that side hustle and creating a sustainable, efficient working business. Like I think TikTok probably had a lot of help in this, of like combining those two things, but they're so far from being similar that sure. Like it's wild. Like
it makes people, all right, so it's what I'm here, it's, if I could jump in for a second, it reminds me of like, I don't know, SoundCloud. There was like, we even talked about this last week, but like there was a moment where like if you got the right person to listen to your track on SoundCloud, supposedly, now I was talking about this with Jordan Edwards, you could get the right person to listen to hear your track on SoundCloud, then you could go famous from just SoundCloud. Or Justin Bieber was just seen by someone on Ellen's show on YouTube, and then became famous. And now it's if you can just get your track on TikTok to go viral and be used on a million different videos, and you become wildly famous. And so people do that, right? Like, somebody who I respect dearly and work with closely thought he was going to put like inspirational memes to like video backgrounds and music and go on YouTube and like generate enough views to get an ROI. It's like the story of how that success happens is so unknown. Like it's told very poorly. But it's like intentionally and unintentionally. I'm really blabbering. But my point is like Justin Bieber wasn't just seen on YouTube and then Ellen DeGeneres like made a career out of him. I'm guessing. My guess would be there's 10,000 hours in and around that YouTube video somewhere.
Yeah.
And in the interview with Jordan Edwards, he was talking about how you can just get a TikTok video and go viral. I was like, oh, really? Are there examples of that? And then he's like, well, I interviewed this one guy on TikTok, and then he showed me that example. And as it turns out, this TikTok person had been like a independent artist making music forever, released several albums, and it was just TikTok happened to be the medium with the reach where he made his best track that it did pretty well, but it was thousands of hours of mastery that went behind that. I saw this other meme, and this is going to be really loopy, but it was like, these are the self-made billionaires. Elon Musk, the son of a diamond or mineral magnate in apartheid South Africa. Jeff Bezos, he started his first business with a $300,000 loan from his parents. Bill Gates, his mom sat on the board with the owner of IBM and talked him into investing in his son's company. Like, all these self-made, like, rags to riches, proof of meritocracy examples are missing so much context.
Yeah.
That they trick people into thinking that shit's easier than it is.
Well, even with those stories, and okay, I think this is another issue that I have as well. Like, we pinpoint these, we highlight these celebrity stories, these 1 in a million, like, if they can do it, I can do it kind of things. I lost my train of thought. Like, I guess two things. One, the stories told about them never divulge the amount of luck and happenstance that influenced them, their meteoric rise to the top. But then they also, like, it's for sure, even though they had all of those great benefits to start their businesses, like, they've all sat in a room and cried, and like wanted to quit and like have questioned everything. They've all had divorces. They've all had, like, massive...
We both listened to Scott Galloway, and he talks about how his business caused his first divorce.
Yeah. So, like, even these examples of wild success, like, there are terribly ugly truths from which, like, that happened because of mistakes to get there. Yeah. But, like, I think something, like, a lot of people don't realize is we love looking at these, like, 1 in a billion people, 1 in a million people. Like, you can live such an incredibly happy life, like, just
not being
10% below that.
Musk.
Yeah. Like, you know how happy you can be with, like, a 10% of his wealth or 10% of his influence?
Right.
Like, it's still incredibly hard. But, like, if people were to stop aiming for Apple and start aiming for, like, a smaller but just as influential company, like, I think the process would be easier. I don't know. That's a weird train.
If we could, if we could just add 2 days to our week, right? Like, if you could have 9 days a week and we were open the same amount of days, my problems are solved.
I don't know about that. I think that's a lane traffic.
You think that's what?
I think that's just
fill them.
I think that's just add another lane of. I think that's human nature. I don't know if I think it's a skill to. And I don't know if either of us have that. I think
you're right. That's human nature to just fill shit.
Yeah. Like, if we were to
I'm open to that being the case. If that were fit with my narrative.
If that were true, then we could just tell ourselves that we actually have 5 days and work under that constraint, and then be like, oh fuck, there's 2 extra, and then
Well, isn't that what Germany did? And that's why they have a 4-day work week. Let's get with the times, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. 4-day work weeks are good.
Yeah. Anyways, it's hard, but like we're still fucking doing it because, well. That's a whole other show. It's a whole other 2.5 hours. But like, there's real value in it, and we both sit here and could tell you and spend twice as much time telling you why it makes sense, and we do that all the time in our heads and to people in real life. Probably more in our heads than to people in real life. And
it's such a good idea that even if it fails, it was still a good idea.
It reminds me of Travis Kelce. Like, I asked for this, is what he said on his podcast after all the hubbub of Taylor Swift at the first Arrowhead. You have to remind yourself, we asked for this.
Yeah.
Like he said, he sat there and he thought about, could I date Taylor Swift? Man, that's going to be fucking crazy. Hell yeah, I could fucking do it. And he did it. And we did the same thing with this.
We're going to date the fuck out of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Believe that.
Yeah. And it's going to be a long-lasting relationship, just like theirs.
That's right. We're going to change the whole genre. No more breakup songs. Just happy living songs.
See you next week.
Peace. I don't know how you drink enough coffee in an episode.